Welcome to Happy Hour, brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping.
You know, I always tell people since the very beginning, we do what we say we'll do. And if we say it and we made a mistake on how we priced, or it's more painful, or it takes longer, you know, we don't go back to the customer and go, hey, you know, I thought this was going to take 3 man hours to do, and now it's taking 13, and I'm going to need to charge you for those extra 10 hours. We don't do that. That's on me. That's on us. We got to get better at our jobs. And that's our mistake. And I think, you know, there's a lot of companies out there, and you see this, you know, I'm sure you're on a lot of Facebook, you know, pages and where people post this stuff, and people will say that sort of stuff. And I'm like, you're killing your brand. You're killing your brand. You know, you don't have to have fancy trucks and TV commercials and be on the radio and be able to afford all the AdWords and all the other stuff that you need to do in different, you know, verticals. But man, just doing what you'll say you'll do. I mean, one time when we got the first retail store, I never had a retail job ever in my life, and neither did my wife. And we were selling wall-to-wall carpet as a part of the rug store. They sold that. So I went out, and the guy who I bought the store from, I asked him to stay for a year. And in my life, I found it effective. When I was in youth ministry, I had a guy who was my mentor that I was like, okay, Brian, tell me what to do. How should I do this? You know? And I asked him one time, this is a good principle. I said, Brian, how in the heck do you ever know as a youth pastor that you're even any good at this? You know, I mean, you can spiritualize it and there's a truth to it. You know, well, this is God's blessing on you. And I believe that. And that's true. But how do I know that I'm any good at, you know?
Yeah, nobody's sending me a Google review.
Yeah, you don't get a Google reviews. Well, you do. It's mostly parents complaining because their kids are degenerate. It's your fault that they're having problems. And they want to blame
them up. Yeah. You were
supposed
to.
I asked him. I said, Brian, how do I know I'm any good at this? And he says, when you can stand in the back of the room and watch it happen, you know you're good and you're not needed. And I think that's a principle for just about every business you could ever be in. And that guy was in the church. You know, when you can stand in the back and watch your trucks dispatch, you know, watch your trucks roll out and everything, you got it rolling on, right? You can do that. But I think with the whole mentoring thing, I asked the guy who bought the store and just doing what we say we'll do to stay with me for a year and just mentor me, you know, tell me. And so I worked for Mark. Now the store was dated and it needed to be updated. So every Sunday I'd go in there and I would move stuff around and try to, because I'm a graphic designer, and visually make it a more appealing in the store. I think I was really good at the floor sets. And he'd come in on Mondays and go, what the heck happened?
Yeah, what did you do in here?
But anything he said procedure-wise, I did. You know, do this, do that, do that. So he taught me how to do bids on homes. And I went out and did this measure one time. I was so excited that I sold my first whole home. And I'm talking like a 6,000 square foot home, high-end Maslin carpet. It's a big ticket. And I got down to the bottom and figured out I didn't charge for labor. And I had already sold the job to the lady. And after
no wonder why she scooped it up. She scooped that up quick. After
the fact, she says to me, she goes, you know, I've done this before. And she goes, this price really seems kind of low. And I said, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. I said, I messed up. I didn't charge you labor, but we do what we say we'll do. So we're going to do it. And she's like, oh, no, you won't make any money. And she argued with me for like 10 minutes. And finally she said, she goes, please, at least let me pay half. So I was like, but at that point, I'm like, okay, I could do that.
Yeah, we can make that work.
I was not going to take the lady's money. And, you know, and she was just insistent. I think it was more upsetting to her. Like she thought she was doing something wrong, being one up on us.
Well, I bet morally, like my moral compass wouldn't take that. If I knew that happened to you, is like, especially as a fellow business owner, I'd be like, Tom, no. Like if you insist that I can't pay your labor, like I'm going to find a way to pay you without you knowing it. Like I'm not having it. Hey, home service heroes, thank you guys so much for tuning into our home service happy hour content today. I sure hope you learned a little something, and I sure as heck hope that it was entertaining. If you did find it fun and entertaining, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for more cool, fun, entertaining business content. And speaking of which, stay tuned. There's a little more here and a little more right here. Check it out.